Back with the classic intro music on Let's Build the Ultimate Indoor Theme Park. We're bringing the classic tunes back today because this time we're going to be focusing on building a real roller coaster. Not throwing shade towards this small little intimate impulse coaster, but no, we need some real coasters in here. So today we're going to be building an inverted 4-seater coaster called the Rival. This coaster is really fun and really comfortable because your feet are dangling the whole entire time because the train is hanging down from the track. I'm using this type of coaster because I think it's really good for doing a lot of inverted type of elements, like some loops, some corkscrews, some 0G rolls. So we're going to be dangling. I started by building a simple chain lift hill, and then the track just swerves into the dome. I think in the future, I'm going to build a little bit more of an intro for this coaster where it goes through some smaller indoor elements to tell a story. But for now, I'm wanting to get into the coaster pit, the ultimate pit full of coastered entanglement. And I'm just feeling a little bit impatient. I'm not trying to build some simplistic story track right now. Right now, I want to build some loop-de-loops and some corkscrews. So we're just going straight into it. So this first coaster element is a giant helix that ends up going in a continuous bank until it is upside down, and then it is going to twist in a barrel roll into our first major drop. Now this major drop isn't going to be just an ordinary drop. Oh no. It is going to be a giant double down. So halfway through it is going to curve back up and then dive back down again, so you get some negative G-force on the major drop. And then at the very bottom, it is going to immediately curve back up, and we gotta pull up sharply because this train is going to be moving fast. So I'm trying to have this coaster cover a large amount of area within the coaster pit. It's gonna be pretty dominant. So after the major double down, it is going to fly up, and it's going to be given a view of the other side of the park before it dives back down and is going to curve behind the waterfalls. Which that's pretty magical, right? You can't tell me that's not magical. That's beautiful. Going behind the waterfalls. Come on. So this point's going to be a little bit more leisure before the major craziness happens. Because then it's going to dive back down, get some speed before going into a giant loop. Then after the giant loop is going to burst right up into a 0G roll, which is one of the most fun elements in my opinion. These things make you feel weightless. That's why they're called a 0G roll. Then we're going to go up into a half loop, and we're going to catch ourselves into a corkscrew that is going to turn into a series of mini corkscrews, which I always love doing this when possible. Going through several corkscrews in a row is just a really fun time. Especially in inverted coasters where your feet are dangling. Like this is the optimal type of coaster to go through corkscrews in. If you were in a normal coaster train and you had a lap bar on, that would be like way more uncomfortable. But in this type of coaster, multiple corkscrews are a good time. This episode's comment question is going to be, what is your favorite coaster element? Like what type of loop or corkscrew or barrel roll or twist or helix or whatever. What is your favorite coaster element in existence? You can pick only one, or maybe two if you really want to, but try to limit it to one. Like I just said, I think mine is the 0G roll. I think just the weightless feeling it gives you is so much fun. And my second favorite is probably good airtime hills. Hills that are set up to make you feel amazing right when you're going over the top of them. Ones that give you just like the perfect weightless feeling. Also, thanks for all your comments on the first 2 videos. You guys gave tons of great ideas on the first episode. And in episode 2, it was great reading your comments about your guys' experience playing theme park simulation games. It's always a good feeling to know that we're not alone. There's more of us out there. It's so much fun to just watch the train fly off the tracks. Just explodes into a cloud of dust and rubble in the most dramatic way possible. Why has it got to be so dramatic? And then, of course, You knew we had a double back behind the waterfall. It looks way too cool, and it works. Also, major props to the smooth buttons. All 4 of them, we love them. Smooth all, smooth banking, smooth height, smooth turns. I love being able to smooth out my coasters. It's a game changer. It allows you to do some crazy edits to your coaster, and then you can smooth it back out. And I'm trying to have a good flow to this coaster to where there's more scenic portions where it's a bit more slowed down and you can take in the scenery and the environment, and then it picks up speed, goes through some crazy coaster elements, and then it levels back out again. You're chilling, and then it goes back into it. So we're just going back and forth with it. Now, another one of my favorite coaster elements, the 0G roll. I had to put a second one in here because it's just such a fun element, and it looks cool, and it's fun to go through, and it works really well with these types of coasters. So take that. And then we pop back up into another half loop, and we are going to level out for a chain lift to pull us back out of the coaster pit. I decided this coaster took up enough space, and we needed to leave space for some more coasters in the future. This coaster can't fill up everything. And then when looking back at the coaster, I had a vision of visions. I felt like the theme park prophet for a moment. I wanted to build a cliff going over the corkscrews, and we're gonna put a ride on top of the cliff, and it's gonna be a really cool ride. We're gonna really build this cliff up so we have a really good platform, and it's gonna be a big centerpiece. It really is so much fun playing with the terrain tool in this game. You can do anything with it. You're just playing with a big chunk of Play-Doh that stays in its form no matter what. The earth is like a dough, and you're a chef, and you can stretch your dough in any direction you want. This coaster is pretty gas so far. I like how the environment is pretty basic, just a natural cliff, just nature-y, with waterfalls and rivers. But since it's indoors, it makes that type of scenery theme way more interesting, because it's not just nature, it's like nature in a snow globe. That's kind of what this is if you think about it. It's a theme park in a snow globe. Alright, time to chain lift back up, heading back to the station. And like I mentioned earlier, in a future episode, we're going to build a intro to the coaster where the first chain lift is. We're going to have it go through a couple hallways, and we're going to add more of a story to it. But I'm kind of keeping that on wraps for now because I haven't fully decided what I want to do with it yet. I'm gonna throw a Wetzel's pretzel in here. I don't really know what this thing is, but it looks pretty cool. It's a little bit out there, but this is where the entrance to this roller coaster is going to be, where I'm gonna build the station. So there's gonna be a building around this element, so you're not going to be able to see the entire thing. So it's not gonna be as outlandish looking once we're done designing the whole entire thing. We're going to slow the train down with a helix, and we're going to pop back outside of the dome. So we are going to have wings that come off of this dome. It's not going to be just the dome. We can build outside of it. Now, something Planet Coaster doesn't have as an option is transfer tracks, which is a thing that almost every roller coaster has. It's where they can take the train off of the track and do maintenance on it. They don't really have that in Planet Coaster. But in this park, I'm going to try to kind of build my own makeshift transfer track. But I'm adding it because I think it's a cool looking detail, and also it's a good place to add block brakes. And block brakes are usually needed on coasters because it allows you to add more trains to your coaster. And with how long these coasters are, I want to have at least 3 trains running at all times. We got to keep the lines moving. The people don't want to be waiting too long. They want to ride everything. I know I would if I visited. Wow, I am talking a lot. Giving it our first test ride, and I am liking what we got so far. You can let me know your brutal, honest opinions in the comment section below. Feel free to say your worst or your best. I can take it. I can take it. I am always open for suggestions because this coaster is not made in concrete. Well, it kind of is, but it's virtual. We can always change stuff. We can always edit, always make it better. This is just the first iteration, the first draft. It will definitely improve. I think there's certain sections of this coaster where I could improve the banking, but overall, I'm liking it. And if you're liking what you're seeing, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you'll be notified when I post new episodes of this series. It's probably going to be a really long series. I've already been working quite a bit on this park. I already know what the future holds for the park, and you guys don't, because I've been building much further than what you guys see at this given moment. Mainly because I wanted to be confident in what I was building before I started releasing the videos, and I'm feeling pretty good about what we got going on so far. It's kind of funny to me how this whole entire coaster we just built and that Intamin Impulse coaster we built at the end of last episode are considered the same number of coaster credit on Roller Coaster Database. But with that, I believe we're done with the first draft of this coaster that does not have a name yet. I don't want to name it until I figure out the exact story of what's going to be happening, because we got to get a bit more elaborate. And then up here I quadrupled up a pillar and I made it a big thick boy. And I used it to really make a big good border for the opening of this park. I still need to build a more elaborate entrance section, but we'll get to it. We have a lot of stuff on the list to do. In the next episode, we're going to be adding some thrill rides to the park. We have 2 coasters now, but we need a few flat rides to really add some movement and some life to our coaster dome. And we're also going to add some facilities, some like bathrooms, food, stuff for the guests, so we can get this park open and some people walking around. Alright, this episode is about wrapped up. Our coaster pit is looking pretty freaking awesome. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you to my Patreon supporters for supporting the channel and making it possible for me to make videos like this for a living. I appreciate you guys so much. If you want to support, link down in the description. Take it easy, guys, and I'll see you in the next episode.